Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. Welcome to another edition of Defense and Diplomacy. I'm your host, Sultan M. Hali. The midterm US elections are over, and as expected, the Republicans have swept the polls as far as the House of Representatives are concerned because they have regained control of it. The Democrats are still maintaining a lead at the Senate, but the lead has become more slender. They have also lost about 7 gubernatorial positions. A battered Obama is headed towards his tour of Asia, starting with India. What are the implications of these very important developments? We are indebted to have in our studio today Ambassador Aslam Rizvi, a renowned diplomat and analyst. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
We have with us Air Marshal Masood Akhtar, who is a renowned strategist and a very well-known analyst. Welcome, sir. Let's start the debate, sir. How do you view this loss of the Democrats to the Republicans? How do you think it is going to affect Pakistan, especially the war against terror and the events in the regions?
First, I think we must acknowledge the fact that this defeat has to do a lot of the economic policies, unemployment, and the budget deficit that America is facing. With that in view, we have to see that how this is going to affect this region, Afghanistan, relations with Pakistan, and of course with India as well. We see that when Obama came into office, he tried to moderate some of the policies of his predecessor. We can now will be able to see now that this will perhaps come into debate more. The Republicans will be more demanding to adhere to the old stance that they are holding. An example of this will be the $2 billion extra that has been pledged to Pakistan. Would be now finding it more difficult. Hopefully it will go through the US Congress. Their policy also with regard to China, Obama had adopted, came under criticism. The Bush, of course, as far as India was concerned, had a very pro-Indian approach, whereas President Obama is trying to have a more balanced position. Now that he is coming to the region, he will be going to India.
Let's talk about that a little later. So let me solicit the opinion of the Air Marshal. The war against terror was commenced by the Republicans, by George W. Bush to be more precise, and they have been gung-ho about it. They were critical of President Obama's giving a date for the exit, and they are going to insist that the army finish its job in Afghanistan before it's withdrawn. So what changes do you see in the near future, which will obviously affect Pakistan?
Thank you. Very apt observation. When Obama came and he tried to reverse the policies of George W. Bush, and he tended to bring in some bit of idealism and morality into this war. But when he looked at the ground realities, and although he had majority in both the houses, so he had full control, but the military was still wanting a counter-insurgency mission. Joe Biden, if you recall, the vice president, he said, no, give them a counter-terrorism mission. Less boots on the ground, more predators, more drone attacks, more money to and support to the government in Pakistan and in Afghanistan. And if you recall, Nancy Pelosi, when this policy went through, and then of course it got revised when McChrystal asked for 40,000 more troops. Nancy Pelosi, they gave all the money, but she said, Mr. President, this is not a blank check. And it were the Democrats who forced or coerced Obama into giving a date for withdrawal. Newt Gingrich and the Republicans, they said, no, stay put till the mission is over, and which is very difficult to do. So what is, I think what is likely to happen is There will be more pressure on Obama to continue with the counterinsurgency mission. They are likely to stay a little more. There will be more drone attacks. The Republicans are tending to be, what are their beliefs? They are realists in terms of foreign policy. More use of balance of power and military. They are relatively more pro-ideology, more pro-religion. Relatively, they are less pro-human rights and democracy.
So let's translate it to implications for Pakistan.
So Pakistan, they will say whether democracy, I won't say that democracy be damned, human rights be damned, but they will say, we are going to give you the money, we are going to hyphenate you into AfPak more, we are going to de-hyphenate you with India, they will tend to de-hyphenate Kashmir. So when Obama comes to India as a weakened president, the way you said in the introduction.
But before that, sir, I mean, our viewers would like to know, would it mean more drone attacks? Would it mean more violation of our airspace?
That's what I'm
Would it mean more pressure to go in North Waziristan?
Absolutely. So there will be ever greater pressure to go into North Waziristan, and even today there is a piece in the Daily Times which says that the pro-Pakistan groups which may have to come under attack because of the American pressure, which is going to be added now because of the loss of majority in the House, and of course a very slim majority in the Senate. So there is going to be ever-growing pressure on Obama and on the military now, and military wants that to happen. They want more money, they want more stay, they want more teeth, that they can actually go into greater areas. Clear, hold, build, transfer, even in Afghanistan is going to get more emphasis, but the net result is going to be whenever there are going to be attacks from across the border from Pakistan, more attacks will come, drone attacks will come, and much greater pressure on Pakistan army to do something in North Waziristan.
Right, sir. So let's move now to this battered Obama. I'm using the word battered because his party has taken a battering, and obviously his strength in the House is weakened. But he is heading towards his Asian tour, and a very important port of call is India. And India has a full agenda. It wants to exploit this particular visit. Its wish list is tremendous. It wants USA to endorse it for a permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council. It wants more weapons. It wants the F-35, the fifth generation fighter aircraft. It wants C-117 transport aircraft. It wants nuclear technology. It wants Obama not to mention the K word. So let's take them one by one. I'm sorry if giving you a full plate. What's your opinions?
Well, you have mentioned what the Indians want. Perhaps we should see also what Obama would want.
Exactly.
And I think his main thing is more focused on economic aspect of it. He's looking more for investments. He's looking more to India for selling goods. He's looking more for jobs. So one of the things that he is going to do is about this outsourcing. He's going to stop that, and he's made statements to the effect that it is going to affect the employment in the United States itself. Number one. Number two, there's a huge market available. India, as you mentioned, has already purchased quite a lot of military equipment of late. They have, apart from these $5.5 billion, they have already bought the Hercules 130H. In addition to that, we are talking about 126 aircraft worth
fighter aircraft,
120 around 110, 120 billion. And according to their agenda, I think they are planning to spend up to I think 2016 up to nearly 120 or 118
in fact,
billion.
The whole budget for the defense enhancement is $30 billion US, which is fantastic.
That's right. So they are looking, therefore the Americans are looking for more cooperation in the investment sector from there. They're looking for a nuclear side from there. The recent act on the Nuclear Act, Investment Act that the Parliament has passed, which is